No.
You're live, it says, and you're shouting. Hello there. Welcome to this second live stream, Tyke farming in the Philippines. It's 10 o'clock or very close to it. Jean's hiding again.
Don't forget
Don't forget
what you always said into your video.
what? Oh, ding-a-ling-ding-dong the bell. Don't forget to subscribe, ding-a-ling-ding-dong the bell. So I'll just square this up a little bit.
No. Face it into you.
Okay. So she's left me here hanging by myself. Last week I had 2 or 3 notes. I didn't bother this week. They only lasted 2 minutes. Wynn's on site this morning. Wynn did the pigs earlier on, and I did the chickens. And I set him up to screen the chicken cages off, and that's what he's on with now. Leave him alone to work away, and I'll pop down at lunchtime and see how we're going. Wynn, I don't think has any other option but to work on a Sunday. Ramel very often works with him, mainly to keep him company, I think. But every now and again, Ramel's wife tells him he's got to have a day off. And why not? Everybody should have Sunday off. Like I said, Wynn doesn't have a lot of choices, a lot of responsibilities.
Yeah.
So, go on, your turn. You say something.
What should I say? No one watched you yet?
There will be people watching. No one commented yet. There's a difference. And you hiding over there.
No, I'm asking for my phone.
Right. Filipinos, see, hiding behind the phone all the time. Or Asian people, generally speaking.
I'm not hiding now. I'm there.
Oh, good. Yeah, so that's what we're doing this morning today. Tomorrow we're back on the netting, I would think. And then soil will be finished with the
23
trusses. So after Monday, we'll be moving ahead with the house. With an extra man coming in, I assume Monday. Soil's going to sort of look out. So we'll be back on the house full time, everybody.
Yeah.
Next week.
They said they will be installing the girder maybe Monday or Tuesday.
The trusses.
Yeah.
And the new fellow will be digging, I assume.
No, he will be painting.
Oh, painting the trusses before they go.
John Griffin. Good morning.
Morning, John. Yeah, painting the trusses.
That's your mate in Australia?
No.
Who is your mate from Australia? Same name?
No, same first name. John Teo.
Okay. 7 watching already onto you.
The shop's steady away. The shop's doing well all the time. It's a balancing act now in the shop. We haven't got the funds now to just throw stock in the shop willy-nilly. Now it's got to be managed where the takings replaces the stock. And with no extra money for extra stock, or I'm not providing any extra money for extra stock. So Jean's going through a learning curve at the minute, how to handle the stock on the money she generates. That's a good thing. It's quite hard for her. For example, still with soft drinks, we were overstocked from Christmas. We were overstocked on cigarettes, um, and overstocked on some of the spirits. Now, the spirits and cigarettes, there's quite a lot of money tied up in those two items. So we got to get them stock levels down um, to maintain stock levels across the board. Because you don't want to run out of things, especially essential things. And we're managing to do it, or Jeannie's managing to do it. It'd be a lot easier, of course, with a point of sales computer. That's something we've got to get into. There's still a bit of resistance on that topic, but eventually we'll get through to it. What do you think about a point of sales computer?
Yeah, maybe, at first maybe it's very difficult, especially when it has a lot of customer. It will take time, and other people doesn't have the patience to wait. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Especially when they're hurry and then they just wanted to buy some bits and pieces.
yeah. Well, initially it will take a little bit extra time till you get used to it.
Mm.
But once you've got used to it and all the stock is on there, you'll find it's a lot quicker than adding up on your calculator. It does it all for you.
It's easy for me then to do like that.
Yeah, you just swipe the can across the code reader, and it totals it up, and it'll tell you what the sum is for everything they bought. It's a lot quicker, not slower. Now, what are you doing now?
In this, is the store going to pay for
Oh,
the
right.
house build?
Just talking about the store. John Witter, yeah. Yes, John. If you go back in the videos, and there's an awful lot of them now, so I can't imagine why you want to particularly. When I first came here, I was renting a house in Compostela, and it was a concrete house. It was too hot to bloody live in. It was awful. So we bought this cabin here, this container house. How much was it?
230.
230,000 pesos. I think at the time it was about £1,500 or something like that, 3,000 Australian dollars. So I got this pumped here, and we came here. I still had 4 months of the lease to go, but I got out of that place and started camping here, if you like, because it was preferable to living in the house. So the first job I did was to put the fence in, fence the plot off, and while we were fencing it off, we got down to the bottom corner, and it was suggested to me that we put the cesspit in for the piggery while we were doing the fence, because it forms part of the fence. So we did that, and then I had to make a decision uh, whether to build the house or build the piggery or whatever else I wanted to do. And I thought, well, we'll put a veranda up first of all on the cabin, so we got a living space with no living space with just a cabin. And after we did that, it was comfortable enough then. I was happy to be living in this container house then. So I had to make a decision whether to start on the house or start on the piggery. And I thought, by that time, with an idea of part of the veranda which went down the other side of the cabin for a sari-sari shop. So I decided we'd build a piggery, we'd stock the sari-sari shop with the idea that the income from the piggery and the sari-sari shop would pay for the house build or part of the house build. But it was a gamble at the time, because I didn't think the sari-sari shop would do anything real. And I didn't know about the marketing of pigs here or anything like that. So it was a gamble, but I certainly made the right decision at that time, and I've carried on now with chickens. Um, and I've got a budget for the house, but it'll run out. I've had 2 or 3 budgets for the house, and they've all run out, all different things, and they've all run out. And I gathered together some more money. So I'll get the house up to lock up, I'm hoping. And then it'll all depend on profits from pigs, chickens, and the sari-sari store to carry it forward. Um, so yeah, uh, partly I suppose is the answer. I've got with the budget I've got, I can get up to lock up stage, and then to finish the house is going to totally depend on the sari-sari shop and the pigs and chickens. Unless I want to live like a Filipino and just move in with a roof over me at the top of my head. But no, we're right enough in the cabin. We've got running water, hot and cold water, um, toilets, and all the basic amenities we've got. Um, so we're not in a rush to move into the house, but it would be nice to move into the house.
Yeah. He's asking if pay for the buildings. With the shop did pay already for the post of it.
Yeah,
The
as we
post,
are now, the shop paid for going
the
up to
post up.
the posts.
Mm.
I paid for out of my wallet, I paid for the metal to make the trusses. It's coming out of my wallet now. Um, and we won't be touching the shop money. Jean's saving every week out the shop money.
Every day.
Well, every day. But, maybe by June, July, maybe August, I'll have no more budget, apart from pensions. And then we'll go back onto the shop budget, which should be, I don't know, 100,000, 150,000 pesos going in, which will put us on a little bit further. But we're living in the real world again now. I haven't got the savings to put into these things, or very little savings left now. So you can't have everything you want in one go yet, like people everywhere. You a bit at a time. When you've got some money, you take it a bit further forward. Um, yes.
Good morning, Mr. Tyke. I'm a subscriber here, and I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, we're doing very well, especially this morning. It's been a wonderful morning, nice and cool. The sun's getting out now a bit, but it's still coolish. Yesterday was really hot. Shopping down the now. Oh, bloody miserable morning down the now yesterday. But there again, I don't like shopping. Ryan in Melbourne, Mr. and Mrs. Tyke. Hello, Mrs. Tyke.
Tyke.
Yeah. Anthony Pike. Good day. Yeah, well, I'm glad, Anthony, you're enjoying the clips. Yeah, yeah, that makes me happy if people enjoy the clips. Very often I think, oh, well, I'm doing what I'm filming today is exactly the same as what I filmed yesterday. But that's life, isn't it? Every day is the same, and then some days it's a little bit different. Same as next week. It'll be different in so much that you'll see a jump forward in the house build. But in order to do that jump forward, we've had soy's been welding away for 2 weeks. Or he did say to me it'd take him 3 or 4 weeks to make them trusses. It's took him 2 weeks. And he's had 2 welders going. Because these little welders are not up to doing all that amount of welding. So he'll use one welder, and then it'll automatically cut out when it gets too hot, and then he goes on to the second welder. That does the same, and he goes back to the first welder. And Soy's the type of bloke, he likes working by himself, and he never stops. And he really does turn out some work. But he's an older fella, so he can't be lifting and humping anymore. But within his capabilities, like welding or plumbing or this sort of thing, he really does a lot of work in the day. Kenneth Pays here, or Pass here. Any updates? Yeah, well, every day it's updated, really, Ken. We've made progress on the second chicken run, and now we're making in the first chicken shed. We're making alterations in there now because these cockerels are going to be a problem again, and I need to separate them. I was going to put them in the second pen, but it's not going to be ready. So I'm going to put water to the cages next couple of days, pressure wash them all out, get everything cleaned up, and I'll put the cockerels in the cages. And the bigger ones, which are we're going to be culling shortly, I'll start feeding them up. If you can feed chickens up in that way, I'm going to have a go anyway. The market footage.
Yeah.
This is Brian in Melbourne again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to do one in the now, but I forgot the phone. Yeah, well, yes and no, Brian. It's when you see if you come to Philippines and probably other countries as well, it looks so basic and half falling down and what have you. But behind all that is a community, and in all communities you get richer people and poorer people. There's a lot of, to our eyes, a lot of poor people here. But behind that facade of crumbling buildings, there's some very rich people. And that little market stall is quite a big business. They're all selling to everybody. And they've got 2 outlets I know of, and maybe more, I don't know. But I don't know the owners. Jean knows the people in there, and
they're my cousins.
They're your cousins. No, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, we have the same last name.
All right, so why aren't you getting a bigger discount?
I don't know. No, they do give me discount. They treat me
but
well in there.
You're their cousin, so you should get a bigger discount.
No, it doesn't work like that on business. If someone buy here my cousin, I will give discount as well.
Oh no, well,
so it's just no good.
Iron Man, a familiar name. 2:10 in the UK. Martin. Oh, we've got a name for Iron Man. Martin, I must remember that.
Martin, your mate in UK?
No, I don't know him. Well, I know him.
Not. I think you did mention living in the boat.
Another Martin, different Martin. Lots of Martins in the UK. Yeah, well, I was thinking next live stream I'd go late evening, but when I got up early this morning, about 4:30, and I put the telly on maybe 5:00, and there was a guy in Dumagetti doing the live stream. Old Dog New Tricks, I think his channel's called. And he was live streaming 5:30 in the morning. I think he started at 5:15 in the morning, Philippine times. And that way he can cover America, Australia, and Europe. I think when we checked it, was about 10:30 in Europe. Yeah. So that's what we'll do next time. Go out early morning for us, so that everybody can get a chance if they so wish to tune in, you know. Leo, there's Win working Lee. I wasn't going to do a video today, but I've decided I am. So I'll show you tonight what we get done today, as usual. Just me and Win I was down there earlier on. Wynn did the pigs, I did the chickens, so we can get started on the little project we're doing in the old chicken shed. So you'll see that tonight if you on tonight's video whenever you watch it. John Witter, your soy is very successful as I remember telling the process about it. Yeah, we're fully stocked now. This is John Witter again. We're fully stocked, and generally speaking, we mark up 30%, but not on everything. But there's a few things we get more than 30%. But rice, what markup do we do on rice?
Grits I have 30%,
Right.
rice around 25,
So 25% on rice, 30% on grits.
sugar 30%.
Yeah. So it's different than the West, where 30% profit margin or markup is very high for everyday items in the corner store. But some things like gas, these tins of gas, we make 5 pesos on the tin. It's not worth selling really from a profit point of view. And water, filtered water, 5 pesos on every bottle. But there's a service element as well, and it brings people to the store. Now, the way we're doing water now, we don't have to carry it anymore. So I'd sell it for no profit, if need be, but 5 pence is better than nothing, I suppose. Mojo. Mojo for Philippines.
Mm.
Yeah, the feed is just your ordinary pellet. You can ferment anything. The feed is just the ordinary fermented feed. Now to start it off, I put
Vitamins.
no some Yakult, is it you call it?
Yeah, cultured milk.
Yeah, to get it going. Um, and now when we make a new bin of feed, we put some water or a bit of feed out of the last bin into it to keep that culture going. And the idea is with fermented feed, it makes all of the feed available to the pig for digestion. Um, and the health benefit is supposed to be it raises the pH level of the feed. So when the pigs eat it, it raises the pH level of the pig gut. So the feed becomes more alkaline and the pig becomes more alkaline. And it makes it harder for the bad bugs to grow within the pig. But generally speaking, they need an acidic environment to multiply. Now, there's lots of videos on YouTube, as with everything, some for and some against. I watched an awful lot of them videos, and I'm sold on it. These pigs have performed exceptionally well by any standards, I think. They're 86 kilos now and they're 3 months old. According to the feed company's feeding guide, they're not going to get on finishing. They're going to be over
They're
100.
gonna be
They're going to be
butchered.
120 kilos before they're ready to go on finishing. So when we butcher one of them pigs, we'll have to have a look at the fat, and we'll have to maybe bring the time scale back for the grower and get them on finisher at least for a few weeks before the butcher. I don't know. But if they're lean pigs, then we won't even bother with finishing. Hey Tyke, I can't remember seeing you live streaming this. No, this is logo 2. This is only the second time I've done it. Gene's been on about live streaming for a while. I was less than keen, to be honest. because the idea of talking for an hour, I couldn't see myself doing it. I've never I've never talked for an hour in my bloody life. But it went well and it was quite easy, quite enjoyable. So here we go again. Oh, Iron Man's Fiddler's Ferry, yeah. I'm trying to think what Martin's channel is. Martin's got a channel at Fiddler's Ferry as well. No.
Maybe that's him.
No. Well, no, he wasn't. No, his
You
channel
can ask him, he's gonna answer you.
His channel wasn't Iron Man. Short-time memory is virtually non-existent now, so I do forget things. John Griffiths, yeah. We do buy in Metro, and there's another one in Danau, large supermarkets, markets for wholesale prices. There's another one in Danau called Prince. It's a big warehouse.
Yeah, that's better.
Prince, James is saying Prince is better. But the bundle things in Metro, which you very often buy, don't they? And we go in Metro to buy personal shopping. But Gin's aware of the prices, and if there's anything which is less than Prince, she'll buy it. But there's no really wholesale outlets as such here. There's trucks come round selling stuff as well. Call request. It is Martin.
Yeah, I could say.
Yeah, it's completely different here. Retail is completely different. On a lot of items, we're so much cheaper than the other sari-sari shops, and the reason being is a bigger sari-sari shop will go to Prince and Metro and various other parts, or trucks delivering to them, and they'll buy a product at a price. And then they'll sell it to another sari-sari shop, and they'll buy off them, and they put their markup on, and then so on and so forth it goes all the way up the mountain. And you get to the top of the mountain, there's maybe 5 people put a markup on that price. We don't do any of that. We buy it as cheap as we can. With a truck comes up here every now and again. We buy soap powder, not by the strips, in a bag, but we buy the full bag of it, of each different brand.
It's cheaper to buy in a bag.
Well, most people don't have the money to do that here. So we haven't bought anything off another sari-sari shop, which puts us very keenly priced. I'd say most things in here are cheaper than other little sari-sari shops. Yeah, Ryan in Melbourne again. Yeah, that's probably the hardest thing. Is the culture here and how things work. It is organised chaos, so that's how it looks, but not for them. Things have a set price, it seems. Like an empty bag from the pig feed. They're worth 4 pesos. 5 pesos. And I said, well, give them them. It's better than burning them. You don't know they're 5 pesos. Everything seems to have a price in it. Even an empty bottle is 1 peso, a flat bottle, because they use them to measure the oil, the cooking oil. So them bottles are worth 1 peso. If somebody wants a bottle, give it. No, but it wouldn't work like that. Yeah, it definitely was a learning curve, and still is, Brian. You know, it really is. it's adjusting to. I've found the best ways. I tell these work fellas here what I want, and I don't tell them how to do it because I'm not a builder anyway. But we all have our own ideas how things should be done, and halfway through, if something I really don't like, I'll let them know, and we'll adjust it. Or if at the end of what we've been doing, it's not working for me, then we'll go back and alter it. And I found that the best way to go. For example, last week they were telling me that the fermented feed was no good to the chickens, and I said no, we're staying with fermented feed because when them chicks came in, they were in the brooding shed. We only lost 4 chickens, and that's a stage when you can lose a lot of chickens. So I knew the fermented feed was working for them chickens, and they grew very quickly. I found out what the problem is this morning, what we're on about, because I fed the chickens. Now, there were about 6 or 8 bowls where they put the feed in, morning and night time, or lunchtime and night time, whatever they do. And there was 3 bowls there this morning, still full. All the other bowls were empty. And what's been happening is when there's a ladle there, a sieve, to get the feed out and put in the bowls, and that's fine. But when it's the last bit in the bottom of the barrel, they'll pick the barrel up and tip it out into maybe 3 bowls. And that's what I've seen this morning. On top of the feed, there's maybe an inch of water. Well, unlike ducks, chickens can't go underwater to get the feed. So them 3 bowls were still full. So I tipped the bowls out onto the ground. They were swarmed with chickens, and within 5 minutes, all that feed was gone. The chickens were hungry. So what the answer to that is, put a hole in the bottom of the bowl, drill 2 or 3 holes in the bottom of the bowl to let the excess water out. Some of the feed will come out as well. Doesn't matter, because when that bowl's empty, they'll tip the bowl up and eat the feed off the floor. There'll be nothing wasted. So instead of filling the bowls and taking them to the chicken run, if you have 6 bowls there with a couple of holes in the bottom, fill a bucket and tip the feed into the bowls, and that will solve that problem. And I think they'll be happy then. Because these work fellas, Wynne and Ramil in particular, who do the animals, it's not that they aren't happy, it's just that they want the best for the pigs and the chickens. Because Ramil has his own chickens, and it's completely different what he's doing. So they think it's not right, they tell me. And then I decide, because, I do what I want to do, not what everybody else wants to do. But if I'm wrong, if I'm doing something that's not right, I've no problem saying, oh, no, we won't do it like that anymore, we'll do something else, do it another way. No problem at all. So...
I don't know. Ganina.
Yeah, he buy gum, Martin. Yeah, I still say to people, lay up, and it doesn't register at all. Yeah, that the want to smash that bloody cup. I still remember
Patience.
that.
You don't have patience at all.
No, I'm not. Well, I do have more patience than I used to have.
Mm.
When I was younger, I wanted things done, and I wanted it done there and then. but it was me who was doing it.
Mm.
I have had people working for me in the past, but basically I did what I needed done. It was me doing it. Um, it was very frustrating when I came here and watching these fellas. I didn't understand how they worked, but I can't do it anymore. I can't go down there and they're digging away in a hole. One's sat down, one's digging, then the other one starts shoveling, the other one sits down. When I was younger, I'd be in the hole with them, and we'd all be digging. But it's not how it is.
You read it. What he said.
Mick Solvay,
Yeah.
yeah, my young unto. All is well lamping
Mm. He said.
is Mr. Naro,
No, he said.
armpit.
Pig. No, he said. Good afternoon. Hope all is well. Take care.
Yeah. Right.
What that means?
Oh, Buntag, that's
Yeah.
morning, isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's morning, Martin. Mick, sorry. Um, that's about the only word I can remember.
Mm.
Buntag and Salamat. Um,
Salamat means.
good. Goes with morning. Goes with Buntag. Salamat Buntag.
Salamat buntag. No, salamat means thank you.
I know it was. Um,
Salamat buntag.
Jean was teaching me a few words, and within an hour, well, within 20 minutes, I forgot the bloody things. Now, when I was a young fellow, I went to Germany, and you soon pick up the language you need. Um, within 2 days, I could go into a pub and buy a beer and another beer and another beer and another beer. Within a week, I could go into a shop and buy a jacket or a shirt or whatever, you know. But at my age now, I just don't have the short-term memory. Up to recently, I didn't even know what day of the week it was. Um, and most days now I know what day it is. It's about the 8th or 9th of February now, so the last time I knew what date it was years ago. When you retire at 65, all the days are the same. You don't really know what Mondays or Fridays. You certainly do when you're working because Friday you finish for the weekend, so you're looking forward to Friday all the time. You're counting the days down. Um, but yeah, short-term memory is not what it was at all. If you watch the videos carefully, um, I'll be saying something, and then there's a long pause. I'm racking my brains to remember the word I want to say. I very often, when I talk about trusses, um, I say, perfect example. I'll say Joyce, because I can't remember the word trusses. I suppose it's all part of getting old.
He said it's afternoon in Sydney now.
Yeah, it's happened. Afternoon.
Hapon, yeah.
Yeah. Happen is right, happen is not.
Hapon.
Um, you've obviously been to Philippines, mate. Um,
Where are you in Visayan dialect? Yeah, Visaya.
yeah,
We're living in Cebu City.
no, we're not.
Yeah, Cebu
We're
province.
an hour,
We're living in Cebu.
yeah, an hour north of Cebu City. Not very far, but the traffic's that bad. It's an hour's drive. Yeah. Colour roof, John. Mm. Jean wants a blue one,
Pink.
pink one.
Is it okay with you? Pink roof.
Well, for me, roofs, terracotta tiles
Mm.
or black, dark grey slate. They've always been that way. Different parts of the UK, they had pipe tiles, um, like a pipe cut in half. I don't know what they call them, and they were a reddish, bright reddish terracotta. Terracotta covers a lot of shades. Um, and in Yorkshire, when I was a kid, a lot of the roofs, the old buildings, the old houses had flags of sandstone on the roofs. But then when I went to Australia, a lot of years later, you had a big choice of coloured roofs, tiles, or tin roofs became popular now again. The old tin roofs were all galvanised tin uh, with rust patches. But now we've all sorts of different colours in colour bond roofs. And the same here, you've got colour bond type of roofs. Um, we'll go for a tin roof again. And whatever colour you want.
Yeah. Pink roof, then purple wall paint.
Now, on this veranda, this extension, I thought it was like a cricket pavilion. So I said, oh, we'll have a green roof. But you can't see the bloody roof, so it doesn't matter what colour it is. But yeah, basically the colour will be what Jean wants. I've no, I'm not bothered what colour it is.
Bukidnon.
Malay Belay City,
Bukidnon.
Buckingham.
I think that's part of Mindanao, if
All
I'm
right.
not wrong.
Yeah. I like the name Malay Belay City.
Malay Balay.
That's how you pronounce it.
Malay Balay.
Malay Belay.
Yeah.
You see, I read it and it's Malay Belay. Malay
Malay
Belay.
Balay.
Yeah. Aye. Tag along, speaking life. It's
Yeah.
all Dutch to me. Um, yeah, you struggle with tag along a bit.
Mm, yeah, struggle to speak, but we can understand it.
Mm.
Just hard to talk. It's like first time we met. I can understand what you say, but it's hard to answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Uh,
once you get used to it, then it will be okay.
I know a couple of times you spoke to somebody in Manila,
Manila.
and
Yeah,
he
Tagalog.
spoke in English because it's easier for you.
Yeah, it's easy English rather than Tagalog because accent as well.
Yeah. Yeah, light colours are always best in a hot climate, John. Um, the outside walls, my natural instinct is to paint them white for that reason. But what colour do you want the outside walls?
Beige. Purple. No,
Beige.
yeah.
Yeah, you can have beige, but you can't have purple.
What?
Oh, you can have a very light shade of purple.
For pink roof, purple paint outside. Then when you go inside the house, it's blue color.
Mind you, when I went to Australia, I was struck by all the bright colours,
Mm.
the primary colours. Um, it's everything in Europe is grey and cloudy, and then you go to Australia and it's all bright and colourful. Yeah, the biggest thing when I went to Australia is the beer. Um, there's a big joke about bombs there. I'll put your pint in the microwave, and it's true. The beer in Australia was that bloody cold they couldn't drink it.
Mm.
I was in a pub once, and a bloke called Graham, he was a really good. Um, he was really good company. And I'd put the glass of beer on the windowsill in the sunlight to warm it up. It was that bloody cold, I couldn't drink it.
Mm.
Yes, Brian. World events are a must. What I'm going to do, I'm going to have two, maybe three whirly birds, as I call them, on the roof. And the walls to the house are going to be cavity walls. The outside skin is going to be a 3-inch thick concrete wall. Um, and when we cast them, they'll all have a vent. Each panel will have a vent in the middle at the bottom and a window if it requires a window. And then the inside wall, I'll be on studs, and that'll be cement board, I think I'll go for. Um, and then the idea is it'll draw all the air in at the vents at the bottom of the walls, up out the top into the roof space, and then out via the whirlybirds. And that should keep it a lot cooler. Now, David, my son David, who was here, he sent me a sketch of the same thing. Well, he was talking to David about it, that we, we came to do it that way. Well, we haven't done it yet, but we're going to do it that way. And he sent me a sketch where they draw the air into the vents in the bottom of the wall via piping underground. So the air is cooler, what they're drawing in. Whereas just putting vents in the bottom is ambient air temperature you're drawing in. So that's a good idea, but whether I want to go to that extent, I don't know. I don't think so. Another way you could do it is, and I did think about this because it would be an handy thing to do, but a lot of work and probably more expense than what I want to put into it, is the veranda on the left-hand side of the house, which goes the full length of the house. I was thinking of digging that down and making water storage down there. That idea came from a fellow in uh, Negros. I can't offhand think of his name. Brian. Um, he's back in Australia at the minute with medical problems. But he was talking to me about a homestead in Australia, and he had the water storage under the veranda, and it was the coolest part of the house. Now, if I did do that, I could draw the air in to the vents over the water in the storage tank, and that would be really cool, I would think. But no, it is keep it simple. I want the house up, um, rather than spending 3 or 4 weeks digging the tanks out, and then the cost of concreting them tanks up and putting a concrete lid on them, and then getting to the veranda. So I think I'll just infill them. Yeah, uh, solar panels uh, do help with the cost of electricity without a doubt, and all the sunshine you get here, it makes sense to have solar panels. And all the blackouts you get here, although they're not too bad. It does make sense to have a backup power supply. Because when the electric goes off at midday, it soon becomes bloody miserable with no fans, no television. Because that's what I do midday when it's at the office. I watch YouTube, or I'll go for a lie down for an hour. But you can't go for a lie down in that cabin if there's no fan. It's that hot, it's unbelievable. But it's money. Solar panels are getting cheaper and cheaper for sure. But the inverter and the storage, the batteries, they're very expensive still and probably remain so. So when everything's finished, and we've got the money for these things, yeah, it could happen. We've got the roofs for it. I mean, the piggery roof's big. the house roof's going to be big. Um, so it would make sense to put solar panels on when it's affordable, because the cost of them, you're not going to make your money back in 5 years. It's going to be a long period of time. Just don't forget the electric here is very cheap compared with Australia or Europe.
I get some drink. You want some? You want some drink?
Yeah, I'll have a Coke one. Uh, no, anything in the cavity between the cement wall and the cement sheets. No, it'll just be a cavity. Just so the air can be ducted up into the roof space. And the whirlybirds on the top of the roof will draw more air in. Hot air rises, it's pushed out with the whirlybirds. And they'll create more airflow and suck the. Well, it's not cooler there. Well, it's going to be cooler than what's at the top of the attic roof. But you're creating a draft, I suppose you'd call it. You won't feel the draft in the house, but you're creating a draft which will cool down the inner wall, if nothing else. Yeah, Brian, the solar panels are cheap now. Oh, get cheaper than they were. But you need a lot of them if you're going to be independent of the main supply. The batteries are very expensive. Even if you go lead acid batteries, truck batteries, they're not cheap. You know, the big batteries are not cheap. When you need 10, 20 of them, it's all right if you're just buying one or two for a camper van, say. But if you're buying 20, it all adds up. Yeah, Kenneth, it's hard to find good pigs.
Have you answered this one already?
Yeah. The first lot of pigs this second time around we got were really good pigs. And we seen the fellow who was looking after the pigs. He was a contact of somebody we know. And from the first week, he had dry feed in front of the piglets. And it was always in front of them 24 hours a day, up to 40 days when we took them off. And that's, in my opinion, is why they're good pigs. Because after, say, 14 days, they'll all be eating a little bit of the dry feed and taking the pressure off the mother as they get bigger. Because the mother can't supply an endless supply of milk to 16 pigs that they up to 40 days. Like the second lot of pigs in, they were just on milk, and that's why they're so thin. That milk has to go a long way. And then going back to when we had pigs before and we got disease and we culled as many as we could and we lost quite a few. All them pigs I wasn't happy with. It was hard to find a supply of pigs. Now, the first lot of pigs this second time round, he didn't have any pigs. He's got some being born at any time now. I'd buy in a heartbeat off him. But we don't need any at the minute. We won't need any for maybe 2 or 3 months. So we maybe won't be buying pigs in again. We'll maybe be farrowing his own pigs, and then you've got total control over it.
What part of the? Are you living in the Philippines?
Right.
No,
Well,
no.
yeah.
I'm asking Kenneth.
Oh, Kenneth.
What place are
Yeah,
they?
he obviously is. He obviously is in the Philippines, and he was talking in the Siam one before.
No, no.
That was a different thing.
Yeah, that's me. I think Iron Man.
Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah, Martin set up on his boat and he knows about uh, generating power with solar panels. Yeah, well, energy prices in UK. And you've lost your fuel allowance, Martin. He's nearly retired, but he's not quite.
Mm. How old is he?
Oh, I don't know. 58.
Mm.
I'm flattering him now.
Younger than
I
you.
don't know. Yeah, UK energy, electric, they just can't afford to put the heating on. A lot of people. Oh, more eggs. Show us the eggs. Hi, Walter. Warwick. Yeah, you get more airflow with vents in the eaves.
We get 9 eggs already.
Yeah. The eggs are getting bigger.
Oh, he had a butcher facility in Albay. Did you have a pig stunner? Because we tried to order in Lazada, but they keep on saying it's out of stock.
Yeah, with a pig stunner on order. Yeah, I can see how that would work, Warwick. You get more airflow with the vents in the eaves, which will take the hot air out of the attic space quicker. Um, but if you had vents in the bottom of the wall, it'd draw the cooler air up the side of the wall internally, the internal wall in the house. I'm wondering if we could do both, maybe. Put a vent in the bottom of the wall, and then alternately between the two vents in the bottom of the wall, put a vent in the eaves. Yeah, that's worth thinking about. Albay
Albay,
Bicol.
Bicol.
Albay
Yeah,
again.
that's
So you always pronounce the
Albay.
I.
Oh,
Yeah,
Bay.
yeah.
Hoy. Ako kabalo dahil may tada.
It's running a butcher facility.
Oh.
I wonder if that's a butcher's shop or a slaughterhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was an apprentice butcher when I was 15, but I didn't work. I started college, maybe 9 months or 10 months or something like that. But I do know that the traditional way of butchering pigs here, as they did in Europe, and they still do in Eastern Europe, I know for a fact, and in France, um, tying them up, hog tying, that's where you get that phrase from them. And in France, I've seen them, they've tied up the back legs and lifted them up on a pulley still alive, and then you slit the throat. It's all stressed for the pigs. You get better meat. I do know you get better meat. It's not an opinion. If you stun the pigs, even going back, it's 60 years I'm going back when I was in the taking down the slaughterhouse on a Monday. All the butcher shops were closed on a Monday for slaughtering. And they were electrically stunning pigs then, before slaughter. Apart from the big pigs, the sows, the old sows and boars, they stunned them with a bolt gun. Didn't have enough power in the electric stunner. Um,
Omelette for lunch.
Oh, I'm sick of eggs. I had omelette for breakfast.
He had omelette for breakfast already
Yeah.
and have some couple of boiled eggs in the fridge.
Well, you can sell pullet eggs, but you'd have to sell them at 5 pesos each, I suppose. Um, but we're eating them as soles. If the work fellas here want some eggs, they'll take some eggs. And we fire, when we've got too many, we fire some up to Jean's mother's. They're not wasted. Um, when they get bigger, we'll start selling them.
Yeah.
But the problem is we've been selling, if you like, jumbo eggs. We're buying at a very good price and we're selling at the same price as people were paying for a standard egg in other sari shops. So it's hard to put them eggs of his own next to the jumbo eggs. But we will start selling them shortly, I'm sure. Yeah, we've been buying pigs off backyard farmers, Kenneth, because that's the only option we've got here. And that's why the standing with everyone is completely different. You can, from northern Cebu Island and some southern Cebu Island, there's bigger piggeries, and you can get pigs up there, but there's that much scams going on. A few weeks ago, we were going to buy pigs from northern Cebu. They wanted the money up front before they loaded the truck.
Yeah.
No way. Or they promise you pigs at a certain price, and they get it. Oh, we haven't been able to get that, so these are more money. Or you buy pigs at 40 days old, and they get here, they're only 20 days old. If you've already paid for them, you're buggered.
You can't do anything.
They're always cheaper, of course. But, you're better off paying 500 pesos a pig more when you can see them than what you are trying to save 500 pesos and you're left hanging if they're not what they said because you can't go and see them. Yeah, I'm happy, Kenneth, to collaborate with anybody about anything really. In the future, and it might happen very quickly, I plan to farrow my own pigs. So I've got control of the pigs from birth to slaughter. Now I'll be saving 2 at least, maybe 4 of these pigs in the first batch. So I might be farrowing the first piglets in 4 months' time. They're 80 kilos now, and I need to get them to 120 kilos before I can weight them. But that's what I plan to do. The full capacity of the pigs, the pig shed, well, that's debatable. I've found, same as these pigs now at 80 kilos, 5 in a pen is enough.
You can put more,
but you can put 10 in there. I'm sure you get 15 in a pen. Because other backyard piggeries with small pens do that. And the piggery I had in Kerrang, the pens were all different sizes. But there were far many more pigs in a pen than what we got here.
You had 8 pens?
We got 8 pens and the area for gestation crates and farrowing.
Yeah, we have 7 for farrowing.
Yeah.
And then for gestating, how many?
I mean, 40 grown pigs.
Before we reach
45.
around 50, David.
Yeah.
In the shed.
I would think 45 fully grown pigs, but then with 2 more pens for piglets. Now you get 30 pigs in each pen, so probably about 100 pigs, depending on age. Yeah, Brian, because I've seen slaughtering as a young fella, and I've slaughtered pigs before I come to the Philippines. Shouldn't have done, but if you got 600 pigs in the shed and you want one, then you take one, don't you? But I had a bolt gun in Australia, um, which Warwick is saying, what about a bolt gun?
It's hard in here.
If you had cattle, you need a bolt gun, without a doubt. A bolt gun, the caps, which are 2-2 caps with no bullet on. I think they use them in starter pistols as well. I could see problems with the police getting a license, foreigner getting a license for a gun, although it's a bolt gun. And obviously these electric stunners have improved since I used one last, because now they'll knock over a 300 kilo pig, according to the box. Whether they do or not's a different matter. But the heaviest pig we're going to be knocking over will be 150 kilos. So, if it can't be done, if it doesn't knock a 150 kilo pig over, then we'll restrain it and bleed it out, which is what you're doing anyway when you hog tie a pig. So if we have to hog tie and bleed out traditional way for maybe 2 pigs a year, 2 old sows a year, I'll put up with that, because at the end of the day you can mince it all up and sell it as mince. But generally speaking, I want a better quality product, but there's a humane aspect to it as well. I don't want you raising pigs and then putting them through misery at the end of their life. It's not a business farm, although we've got to make a profit. It is definitely a hobby farm. If I wanted to make money on chickens, and they got Australorps in and these fast-growing meat birds, which grow that quick they can't stand up, and then make money with them. But I don't want to do that. That's why I'm wanting these old breeds. I want to enjoy the chickens, and I want to enjoy raising the pigs. And when it comes to culling them, I've no problem culling them, but I want to do it right. I was looking at killing corns for chickens this week, and they're 800 pesos, 1,000 pesos for a stainless steel corn. So I thought, well, I'll maybe buy some plastic road corns and cut the top and bottom off of it. But I'll maybe make some out of a tin sheet, because at 1,000 pesos a corn, and I'll say I need 6 of them. That 6,000 pesos is near enough buying me a load of sand. So at the moment, I'm a Yorkshireman at the end of the day, don't forget. I'm reluctant to spend that money on bloody corns. Oh, William. Yeah, the pig I had in canal, William, was that whole old. I spent all day repairing things. The floors were terrible. The bloody effluent channels I'd pump out 3 times a day, and they were full to the top with old muck. Everything was hard work, and I had the money to do it, so I wanted the I wanted a shed I could be proud of, and that's what we've done. Um, and I'm quite happy with it. We've got to raise the husbandry standards, which we have done, and keep raising them if we can. Um, but like like your hobby farm, you're proud of it, and rightly so. It's a nice setup, and it's the same for me. Um, it's not about making money just for the sake of money, but I do want to make money because I want to put it into the house. But I want to enjoy what I'm doing as well. Yeah, that's the idea, kind of, to supply my own pigs for me. And if there's a surplus of piglets, then them are easily sold. Um, yeah, Shane. William Shane's going to watch you next. Yeah. Yeah, I watch William's channel quite a bit. Um, I watch on the television though, so I don't get a chance to comment. Uh, I have commented on a couple of times on William's channel. I've got the phone out to watch it on there in order to do so. Um, I think the first episode I seen on William's channel was he was on his way back from either Vietnam or Cambodia or wherever, and he'd finished work. I think for the second time, and I don't know if that was his first episode or not, but if not, it was close to it. And I seen that while I was sitting on my boat in Selby, I think at the time, and then later on at Fiddler's Ferry. I watched just about every episode for a couple of years or more. And then he fell foul of scammers, and his channel went down, and he lost all the old clips, or a lot of the old clips, which was a shame, really. But this is what some people do. It's how they get the jollies on YouTube. I don't understand it at all. Yeah, I know. William is more interested in providing for his own table. Um, yeah, that's it, Walter. Um, Better meat, and even more so if you hang it overnight or 48 hours in a fridge, which doesn't happen here. It's all chopped up when it's still hot. Um, and when a pig's stressed, well, or any animal, I suppose, but sometimes you can sense a metallic taste in your mouth. That's adrenaline. Um, and the meat can be very toughy. I've bought beef a couple of times, and I don't buy it now because it's just not good to eat. It's not nice to eat. There's no enjoyment in eating it. And the cattle here are slaughtered in exactly the same way. They're not stunned at all. Uh, no, Kenneth. One piggery and one piggery is enough. Um, one lot of chickens are enough. Um, Going into business at my age and pushing their business forward, I'm just not up to it anymore. But I'll never say no, um, because things develop and things lead in different directions. Now, it's not just me here at 76-year-old. Jean's here at 35. She's maybe got more ambition than me. I've very little ambition now, other to do what I want to do in retirement. I don't have ambition to open a market stall or a big store or um, retail outlets, 2 or 3 retail outlets. I don't have that ambition. But if Jean wanted to do that, then I would support her. Providing I didn't have to do the work, I'd say yes, why not? You're young enough to do such things. And I'm old enough to let her. But having said that, if this chicken farm behind me came up for sale, and I had the money to buy it, which I don't, um, it's something I'd like to own, because you can't beat owning land, you know. So, if that chicken farm came up for sale in 3 or 4 or 5 years' time, and this little place was profitable enough to buy it, and Jean wanted to buy it, I might say okay to it, because that's a nice flat block and mountains, hills running up the back. It's a rundown old chicken farm, but it could be a beautiful plot of land. And yeah, but you're going back into business, and it's in me, and I want to do it. I would want to do such things because that's how I've been all my life. But for me, I'm at a stage now where what I'm doing, I wanted to do, it gives me purpose in life again. But it's about all I want to do. Any more than this, probably not for me. But I won't ever say no. Yeah, going back to Willem, and he lost all his content was deleted. Uh, Mostly over a bloke in Bohol, I think. I try not to get involved with such as that. I think the bloke in Bohol has a very good channel. Well worth watching. If you want to know how not to do things, if you want to know all the mistakes possible to make, and look at all the mistakes, it's a really good channel to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, growing very fast.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch it around.
Pigs are looking in a very good condition, growing very fast.
Yeah, they are worried. They've surprised me. Now, we've done various things in that piggery, and you can't say it's any one thing, but I'm of the opinion it's the feed. It's the fermented feed is making a hell of a difference. That's just my opinion, but it might be the netting, it might be better hygiene. Uh, all these things contribute, there's no doubt about that. I've still got filters to put on the plumbing down there. We're coming into the dry season. I think a lot of the problems from last year was water. We were importing a lot of water due to drilling, and there could have been anything coming in with that water. But it could have been equally the fly season. Millions of flies in that shed. With an outbreak of fleas before that. Then when the rain came back, with the mosquitoes were everywhere. So it could be a multiple of things. But I think the biggest difference we've done, which is the things we've done, I think the one making the biggest difference appears to me to be fermented feed. Now, if you look into fermented feed on YouTube, there's people for it and people against it, and people saying it's a waste of time or whatever. They're well worth looking at. I had a lot of time on my hands when I was looking at fermenting feed. So I looked at an awful lot of videos. I decided to give it a go. But in my opinion, that's the main difference, and that's why the pigs are doing so well. Even these pigs coming in, the last lot, weren't very good piglets, but they're making good piglets now within 10 days. To me, it can only be the feed. But make your own mind up. Don't start fermenting feed just because I say so. I'm not a bloody expert in any way, shape, or form. But if you're interested, look into it and make your own mind up. Yeah, well, that's the thing, Kenneth. That's what I weighed up before I came here. I can come here in retirement, and I'm not capable of physical work or any work really for any length of time. I can't work a full 8 hour day, even behind the computer doing book work, which I hate anyway. Um, but coming here because of the cost of labour, I can do things. I can be involved in things. I'm involved in what we're doing, but I'm not actually doing it. No, no.
Brian.
Yeah, Brian in Melbourne. You can't get the round tanks here, the big round tanks, 10,000 gallon tanks. I can't remember what the cost
Around
in
30.
Melbourne.
I know. In City Hardware, that's
In
expensive.
Melbourne now. But they aren't expensive. I got two delivered at Kerrang, little truck in a trailer, and I put two new tanks in there. I can't remember what they cost. Uh, oh, no, it wasn't. It was down Jack River. I got a tank down there delivered as well, put a tank in there. But you can't get them here. You can get stainless steel tanks and plastic tanks, but they're only small. And how much are these tanks on this?
6,000
6,000 pesos.
for 450 liters.
450 litres. Um, that's £900. So they're not cheap. No, exactly. 6,000 pesos, £90, $200 for 400 litres. They're not cheap. When you get 10,000 gallons for, I don't know, maybe $8,000,
$120.
whatever the cost nowadays. Yeah, we could make some more along the chicken fence. Like I said, we could, under the veranda at the front of the house, we could sink water storage under there. But I think I've probably got enough water storage. With the well, I invested money in two new wells, and they're working fine. So I think we'll be all right now. But if we have to build more storage, we will build more storage. Well, I can't answer that, Kenneth. some people on YouTube say you can save up to 50% in feed costs with fermented feed. I was all sceptical about that, but I was looking at it from a wrong angle. If you're feeding 3 kilos of feed a day and you ferment it, then I was thinking you'd be feeding 2 kilos a day. And that doesn't happen. I'm feeding more per day than with fermenting it than what I would be on dry feed. But on the feed mill's estimates of growth, at 3 months old, I can't remember the figure now without looking at it, I should be about 45 kilos or something like that, and I'm 60, 70 kilos. So that's a saving. From piglet to butchering, it's a time scale. If you're feeding more feed than what you would dry feed, that's okay. Get as much into them as you can, because the time scale shortens when you butcher. That's where your saving is the time you're not feeding them. And according to the feed manufacturers' estimates, I've still got a few more weeks on grower feed. They're never going to get on to finishing feed. So that's me saving all that cost of finishing feed. So I might have to adjust that to, depending on what the meat's like, to get them on to finisher before, so they won't be on grow very long at all. I don't know. I'll have a better idea of that when we butcher them and we'll see what the meat is like. But these pigs are growing like hell. There's no doubt about that. Even the piglets in this last 10 days, they're packed on the weight to what they were. And they were skinny little tiny things, you know. Now they're pushing 10 kilos, the average weight of them piglets. Yeah, I seen your alterations, William, and the netting you put up. The thing I like about your piggery is you've got your sink and your washing facilities at the end of the piggery. That's something we want down here. You know, foot baths and netting and all these other measures by themselves, they're not going to guarantee you'll have no problems. Overall, they'll improve your chances for sure, you know, no doubt about that. There's no magic bullet. There's no one thing you can do which is going to prevent problems. You're still going to get problems from time to time, but hopefully you mitigate them problems. Because the way we were with the first lot of pigs when that sickness hit and the pigs we lost and that, if we hadn't done something to mitigate it, then there's no way can you breed pigs. Because the disease returns, then pigs are going to be 3-4 year old by the time you finish with them. So we had to do something. And I look at other people around here and they've got pigs and they're breeding pigs and they're doing it successfully. So there's no reason why we can't. And we've got maybe more resources than them. We've been able to do more improvements. So that should increase his chances. But without a doubt, there's always something unexpected comes up. I've seen people on YouTube with pigs and we'll get that much money for this pig and we'll make that much profit and we can turn out this many per month. So over 12 months we make 3.5 million pesos. Life isn't like that, unfortunately. You don't make any money until you get it in your hand. And if something goes wrong, and things beyond your control, if the feed price goes up by 80%, it takes all that money off you. Nothing you can do about it. I know William is into doing a lot of his own feed, but he's still on pellets, I think, for the pigs. We can't get the raw materials here that tries to make it worthwhile making his own pig feed. Um, that's also the best option. If you're farming, then you're farming. You grow the feed and you feed your pigs and you're adding value all the time. If you haven't got enough room to grow the feed, then you can buy it off of the farmers and the value add all the time. But that's not an option for us. But fermenting was the only option I could see, and it appears to be working.
Fly larva trap. To feed the chickens? No, no.
Yeah, soldier flies, and there's all different, and a worm farm. There's all this sort of different things, and they're all very good. I would imagine. I've never done any of them to supplement the feed, but you still have to buy feed. Um, some people in Grow Hall think you can grow flies or whatever, and you don't have to buy feed. You you can grow duckweed, and then you don't have to buy feed. it, it doesn't work, and it can never work. Um, but fly larvae, grubs, a lot of protein in them, and that would really supplement your feed bill well, I would think. But maybe in the future. But all these different ideas, I don't have time for at the minute. I'm too busy building the basics. Um, but I might get interested in flies. I might get interested in worms. Farms became very popular in Australia, and you can sell the worms in Australia, even as feed or breeding worms. It's a big business in Australia as well, farms, and other places. Well, yeah, 2,000 litre plastic tanks, just short of 30,000 pesos. And that's not a big tank, 2,000 litres. 10,000 gallons, but I don't know how much of that. That's 20,000 litre tanks in Australia. They weigh nothing, but you need that big. You need a truck to move them. Yeah, I had concrete water tanks. They had ribs in. What they did, they made a round tank out of roofing sheets, the old galvanised roofing sheets, and they bent them round to form a tank, and they plaster it up from the inside to the thickness they wanted, and on the outside it had all the ribs around it. And that was a really old tank, and it was still working. It was dripping, it was leaking, water was damp all the time, but it still held water. When we're fermenting the feed, it's just at the minute we're going to start today fermenting pre-grow for the piglets. But the bigger pigs,
Pre-starter.
Pre-starter for the piglets. But the ones we're fermenting now are just grow, just some pellets out the bag as anybody else would use, and with no measurement really. We've got 5 scoops, 6 scoops of feed into the barrel, and then fill it with water. You don't want too much feed in the barrel, else it'll soak up all the water and it expands, and you can't get any water in the top of the barrel to cover it. But if you've uh, not enough feed in the barrel, it doesn't matter because it's not going to rise up, so you can't cover the feed with water. If the feed isn't covered, you can get bad yeast and different things growing in it, which are not good. So you want to grow good yeast, and anemic acid, I think, is the main benefit what grows, multiplies. Without reading it again, I couldn't tell you. It's well worth reading. It's well worth looking into. And if you don't fancy it, you don't fancy it. You don't have to do it. But it's like everything else. Some things appeal to you and you have a go, and other things don't appeal to you and you don't bother. And everybody has different ideas, and everybody does things differently. There's no right or wrong way. I'm fermenting feed and I'm very happy with it, and that's all I'm telling you. If you fancy having a go yourself, look into it first. Just don't take my word for it, because it might not work for you. I don't see how it wouldn't, but it might not. I don't know. I've always said, we're back to flies, a supplement, better flavoured eggs. Yeah, well, I can well see it would be better flavoured eggs if the protein level is upgraded, because the yolk is protein. So I can see that they would taste better. Now, when I butcher a pig, there's going to be no waste in this pig. If we don't sell all the guts in one go, they'll all be boiled up and fed to the chickens. The lungs I don't eat here. I usually feed them to the dogs. They'll be fed to the chickens. Well, the dogs will get a bit as well. You know, same as farrowing pigs, it's a stillborn pig. And the afterbirth, etc. None of that will be wasted now. They'll all be boiled up and fed to the chickens. Yeah, we'll do, William. Thank you, Larry. Yeah, we'll be keeping going for sure. It's become a hobby, I think. Never, well, it's live stream business. I don't know how we'll go with that. If you enjoy doing it, we're doing it. We'll do it. And if I don't, we won't. But yeah, it's been good this first twice. It's not Jean can't get a word in edgeways.
No, I'm very sleepy.
Oh, yeah. Now, when she's not in front of this computer, like all women, she can't stop talking.
You're so bad, dude. I give you tape then.
Sorry?
I give you tape.
Tape?
Yeah.
What do you mean tape?
Yeah, to tape my mouth so that I won't talk anymore.
Well, you haven't started yet. Yeah, we'll keep going now. What time is it? 11:30.
11:40.
So that's an hour and a half. So we'll wrap it up here, I think. So thanks everybody for watching, and we'll do it again on Sunday, next Sunday, but it's going to be very early, local time, maybe 5 o'clock in the morning start for an hour, and give people in Europe a go. Anybody wants to come in, and whether we'll finish up at a set time every time we do a live stream or not. I don't know. We'll see, just sit, let it develop as everything else, and we'll see how it goes.
Gold Coast, AUD, 1:30 p.m. here.
Where are we now?
Last one.
Oh yeah, it's a good time for Australia.
Mm.
Yeah, thanks Ryan. Thanks everybody. We'll see you later.
Ding dong, diba?
Hi, ding dong dong.